Have you ever noticed something strange? Some founders can say the simplest thing and it hit different. They are not using fancy words, they are not yelling louder than anyone else. They are not even saying anything particularly groundbreaking. But somehow their presence is unmistakable. You know exactly who they are the second they start talking. And here's what most people get wrong about this. They think it's about expertise. They think once I know enough, once I'm good enough, once I have enough credibility, then I will have the kind of presence. But that's not how it works. Because here's the shocking truth. Authority doesn't come from what you know. It comes from the identity. The character you show up as every single day. Think about the creators with the billions of views, the founders who feel like they were born to lead, and the voices you never scrolled past. They are not accidents. They are not just naturally charismatic or lucky. They are operating from a very specific persona and archetypes, whether they consciously choose it or not. And here's the part nobody tells you. When you don't pick your archetypes, the world assigns you one, and the most of the time it's the wrong one. You end up being generic expert, the just another voice in the crowd, the person who is knowledgeable but forgettable. And I know that sounds harsh, but it's fixable. Because once you understand which persona naturally aligns with who you are, once you stop trying to be everything to everyone and commit to showing up as a one clear consistent character, everything changes. Your content becomes magnetic, your voice becomes recognizable, your brand becomes unforgettable. So in today's video we are removing all the guesswork. You are going to discover your authority persona, the one that fits your mission, your energy, your belief, and your story. And once you know this, your content finally sounds like you. Not some persona you are forcing because you think you should. The real you amplified. Let's get into it. Alright, let's talk about the archetypes. Now I know the word archetype sounds like an academic. It sounds like something you will study in a psychology class or read about in a mythology book. But here's why they matter for your personal brand. The archetypes give you a starting point, a base personality structure, the way you show up consistently without feeling robotic or manufactured. Because here's the thing, people have been using these character types for centuries in stories, in leadership, and even in culture. And whether you realize or not, every memorable founder, every influential creator, every leader you admire, they are operating from the one of the archetype. It's not about boxing yourself in, it's about anchoring your presence so the people finally know how to understand you. So let's break down these 8 archetypes that shape founders' brand and even for creators' brand. As we go through this, I want you to pay attention to which one feels closest to who you naturally are, not who you think you should be, and not who seems more successful, but who you actually are when you are at your best. First is the hero. The hero is I will fix this founder or creator. You overcome challenges publicly. You led by example and your brand is built on resilience, ambition, and action. You're not the person sitting on the sideline talking about the problems. You are in the arena doing the work, showing people what's possible through your own journey. People follow these heroes because they trust their determination. Because when things get hard, the hero doesn't quit. They push through. They find a way, and that energy is contagious. Think about the founders who share their wins and losses in real time, who documents their journey, who proves that success is possible because they are building it right in front of you. That's the hero energy. If this resonates with you, your brand is about action, transformation, and proving what's possible. Second is the sage. The sage is the deep thinker. You are calm, analytic, and thoughtful. Your power doesn't come from the hype or excitement, it comes from the clarity and insight. You are the person who takes complex ideas and make them feel simple, who cuts through the noise and get to the truth, who helps people see things they couldn't even see before. And people trust sages because they make the world make sense for them. Even everything feels overwhelmed, the sage brings the order, structure, and understanding. Think about the creator who never seem rushed, who speak with the intention, who make you feel smarter just by listening to them. That's the sage energy. If this resonates with you, your brand is about wisdom, clarity, and helping people think better. Third is the outlaw. The outlaw breaks the norm. You love challenging the status quo. Your content feels bold, disruptive, and even rebellious, but in a smart way. You are not contrarian for the sake of it. You genuinely see the flaws in how things are done, and you are not afraid to call them out. People follow outlaws because they say the things everyone else is thinking but won't say it loud. Because in the industry full of people playing it safe, the outlaw brings the honesty. They question the rules, they push the boundaries, they make changes feel necessary. Think about the founders who aren't afraid to criticize the industry they are in, who build differently, who refuse to follow the playbook. That's the outlaw energy. If this resonates with you, your brand is about disruption, truth telling, and doing things in your own way. Fourth is the caregiver. The caregiver is warm, empathic, and nurturing. Your content feels safe, supportive, and uplifting. You are not trying to prove how smart you are or how different you are. You are just forced on helping. People trust caregivers because they feel seen around them. Because the caregivers create a space where it's okay to struggle, where support is transactional. Think about the creators who celebrate other people's wins, who encourage without judgment, who make their audience feel like they are rooted for them. That's the caregiver energy. If this resonates with you, your brand is about empathy, support, creating a community where people feel safe to grow. Fifth is the creator. The creator is artistic, original, and very, very expressive. You know the world differently. This you see the world differently. Your brand is about imagination, innovation that is visually aspiring. You are not solving the problems, you are creating new possibilities. You need new perspective and the new way of thinking. People follow creators for inspiration and fresh ideas because creators doesn't just teach, they already know. They invent what could work, they experiment, they explore. Think about the founders who approach their industry like an art form, who brings creativity into everything they do, who makes you think, I will never have thought that way. That's the creator energy. If this resonates with you, your brand is about originality, invention, and inspiring people to think different. Sixth is the visionary. The visionary operates in the future. Everything you talk about feels one step ahead. You guide people towards possibilities they can't see. You're not focused on today's problem. You're focused on tomorrow's opportunities. People trust visionaries because they help them prepare for what's coming. Because the visionary sees patterns because they are obvious. The trends before they are in mainstream and shift before they happen. Think about the founders who talk about the industry is heading, not just where it is, who help people position themselves for future. That's the visionary energy. If this resonates with you, your brand is about a foresight, a long-term thinking, and helping people stay ahead of the curve. Seventh is the mentor. The mentor gives framework, systems, steps, and the mental models. You are structured, you simplify success into a repeatable process. You're not just sharing ideas, you are giving people the exact roadmap to get the results. People see the mentor as the people who give the map because the mentor doesn't leave the things vague. They break down exactly how to do something step by step, no fluff, no confusion. Think about the creators who teach in a way that feels like a masterclass, who gives you an actionable takeaways in every piece of content, who make you feel like a success. It's just a matter of following the plan. That's the mentor energy. If this resonates with you, your brand is about clarity, structure, and giving people the tools to succeed. The last is the relatable guide. Relatable guide is a friend people wish they had. Honest, funny, and practical. You share your journey in a real, humble way. You are not trying to position yourself above your audience. You are not walking alongside them. People trust a relatable guides because they speak their language. Because the relatable guides admits when they don't have figured out, they make mistake and they keep it real. Think about the creators who feel like they are talking to you over a coffee, who make feel success feel like unachievable because they are doing themselves one step at a time. That's the relatable guide energy. If this resonates with you, your brand is about authenticity, relatability, and showing people that growth is a journey and not a destination. Now, here's what most people get wrong about this exercise. They think choosing an archetype means limiting themselves. Like, if I am a sage, does that means I can't be funny? Or if I am a hero, does that means I can't be vulnerable? No, your archetype isn't a cage, it's an anchor. It's the baseline energy people feel when they interact with your brand. But within the archetypes, you still have a range, you still have a flexibility, and you still have a nuances. A sage can be absolutely funny, but their humor is calm, dry, and intelligent. A hero can be absolutely vulnerable, but their vulnerability is the service of showing the resilience. An outlaw can absolutely be encouraging, but that encouragement comes from the challenge. See what I mean? Your archetypes gives you a foundation, a lens, a consistent way of showing up. So ask yourself, which one feels closest to who I naturally am? Which one matches my mission and which one reflects how I want people to perceive me? You don't have to force this. You will know when it clicks. And once you find it, everything else gets easier. Because now you have a framework for your stories, your tone, your energy, and your entire brand presence. Quick words. If this breakdown is helping you understand your personality, your presence in a completely new way, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button because you are in the middle of a full transformation right now. And the next chapters are built directly on this foundation. You are not just talking theory here, we are building a brand that people can't forget. Do subscribe and let's keep this going. Alright, now that we have figured out who you are, let's figure out how you sound. Because here's the thing, you have the perfect archetypes. You can now exactly know who you are and who you stand for. But if your voice is inconsistent, your tone shifts randomly from post to post, and if your vocabulary feels generic and interchangeable, people won't remember you. Your voice is your communication identity. It's what makes you recognizable before someone even sees your name. And it's made up of these three things: voice, tone, vocabulary. Let me break down what each one means and how they work together. First is your voice. Your constant. Your voice is your personality. It's the baseline energy that remains same no matter where you show up. Whether you are writing a LinkedIn post, you are recording a video, you are talking on a podcast, your voice should feel consistent. So ask yourself, are you quietly confident, direct and bold, warm and nurturing, or analytic and thoughtful? Your archetypes determines your voice baseline. A hero voice is energized. It's action oriented. It's about the momentum and possibility. A sage voice is calm. It's measured in. It's about the depth and clarity. An outlaw's voice is rebellious. It's sharp and it's about challenging and disrupting. A caregiver voice is empathic. It's supportive. It's about understanding and engagement. See how different those feel. That's your voice. And once you define it, you have a filter for every piece of a content you create. Before you post something, ask yourself, does this sound like me? If it doesn't, exist it until it does. Second is your tone, your adaptation. Now your voice stays constant, but your tone that adapts. Your tone changes with the situation, emotion, and context. You can be serious, humorous, firm, encouraging, but it still sounds like you. For example, a stage can absolutely joke, but the humor is calm, dry, and intelligent, not loud or exaggerated. An outlaw can absolutely be serious, but the seriousness has the age. It's not soft. A caregiver can absolutely challenge someone, but the challenge is gentle, supportive, and rooted in care. See the difference? Your voice is who you are. Your tone is how you adapt to that voice to a different situation. And more intentional you are with this, the more dynamic your brand becomes. Because you are not one dimensional, you have a range now. But that range still feels like you. Third is your vocabulary. That's your signature. This is where your brand becomes unmistakable. Your vocabulary is set of words and phrases that becomes your signature to you. Every strong personal brand has this. Word they use constantly, word they avoid completely, and over the time those words become the part of identity. Think about it. Do you use simple language or complex? Do you prefer the direct sentences or storytelling lines? Or do you avoid the corporate jargon? Do you have the phrases that show up again and again in your content? For example, the mentor uses the structured words like framework, system, steps, process, and roadmaps. A creator uses the word like imagine, inspiration, depth, explore, and possibility. The hero uses words like challenge, push, breakthrough, action, and momentum. The relatable guide uses words like honesty, real talk, and let's be real. And here's the thing. Now, how different those vocabulary feels? That's intentional because when you are consistent with your vocabulary, people start to recognize you instantly. They can read three lines and think, yes, this is definitely from this person. Consistency creates the familiarity. Familiarity creates the trust, and trust creates the authority. Awesome. Let's make it practical. Here's how you actually define this for yourself. Step 1 is write down your archetypes. This gives you your baseline voice. Step 2 is list 5 words that describe how you want to sound. Are you direct, thoughtful, encouraging, bold, calm, or energetic? These becomes your voice guidelines. Step 3 is identify three tones you want to use regularly. Maybe you are serious when teaching, encouraging when supporting, and playful when telling a story. This gives you a range without losing the consistency. Step 4 is create a list of a signature word and phrases. What words show up in your best content? What phrases feel natural like you? And start tracking this and use them intentionally. Step 5 is create a never use list. What words feels the off brand? What phrases feel generic or corporate or just not you? Avoid them, and over the time these decisions will compound. Every post reinforces your voice, every video strengthens your identity, and every interaction reminds people who you are. And that's when your brand becomes unmistakable. Here's something most creators don't realize. People don't follow you because what you say. They follow you because how you say it. Two people can share the exact same insight, the exact same advice, and exact same strategy. One feels memorable and other feels forgettable. Why? Because one has a distinct voice and other sounds like everyone else. Your voice is your competitive advantage. It's what makes people choose you over someone with the same credentials and the same expertise, same audience. Because when your voice is clear, consistent, and unmistakably you, people don't just consume your content, they connect with you, and that connection is what builds a brand that lasts. Alright, let's zoom out for a second. In this video, we have done something most creators will never do. We have defined who you are through your archetypes, and we have defined how you sound through your voice, tone, and vocabulary. These two things together create your persona, the character you show up as every single day, the energy people feel, the identity people remember. And here's what changes once you have this: you stop second guessing every post, you stop trying to sound like someone else, you stop wondering why the content isn't connecting, because now you have the clarity. You know who you are, you know how you sound, and you know what makes you different. Your archetypes give you the permission to lean into your natural strength. Your voice gives you the consistency, and your tone gives you the range, while your vocabulary design your recognizability. And when all of these come together, your brand becomes magnetic, not because you are trying harder, but because you're finally being you, the version of you that people can't ignore. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more such videos. See you in the next video.